Hello, Kenosha and surrounding area. No, this is not a good morning video, and no, I'm not about to tell you to support the Saints, even though you should. What this is that I have Inside the Mind of Daniel Thompson, where I talk about mental health issues and just general life notes. I have the Sleeping Saints, where I read stories that have impacted me to help you calm down and to help you fall asleep. But I don't really have something or a platform or something that I've created to tell just miscellaneous and stories from my life that have no moral value at all, really. So I want to try out this. I'm going to call this Stories with the Saint. If this one is successful, I'll keep it going. If not, I'll just say I told you a story one time. But I'm going to call this Goodnight, Chad. For those of you that know me, you probably know that I've been sober for 9 years. I don't drink anymore. But prior to that, I used to drink all the time. In fact, it was the biggest part of my life. And it meant that I got into a lot of misadventures, a lot of awkward situations, and a lot of easily avoidable encounters. This one is probably that I'm going to tell tonight, the one that was probably easily avoidable. So, when I lived in Madison, I was 21 years old. Well, actually, I lived there from 2010 to 2012, graduating from UW Madison. So it's about 2011 on this night that I'm going to tell you about. I'm 21. I am meeting with a girl that I'm semi-dating at the time at my favorite dive bar, Amy's. And the funny thing about that is that she was underage, but she was Canadian. So how I got her into the bar is that I had a conversation with the bouncer about how she's Canadian and, if she was in Canada, she could drink. But I also pronounced the words about and house, which sealed the deal, and he let her in. So I didn't question it. We both got in. We had drinks. We met up with a bunch of friends. There used to be a bunch of regulars who hung out there, but the one that I want to focus on is Dad. Dad, I met, I think, the first night that I lived in Madison at Amy's. I'd gone in there for a drink because I was underage, but I'd been there previously, so I didn't think they'd card me, and they didn't. So I walked in and I had a drink and I met Chad. Chad had a very distinguished look. Chad was a man with dwarfism who was confined to a wheelchair. So me and him drank, we got to know each other, and we hung out. And I realized we were both regulars, so I'd see Chad all the time, and we made room for him. So at the bar, whenever we would hang out as a group, all the regulars, we'd always pull a stool out, and Chad would just kind of roll in. And the way that it would work is like the bar was high up, about like right here. So Chad, with his dwarfism, even in his wheelchair, couldn't quite get over. So, you'd kind of hand him his drink, put it back for him, but also like to talk. He would kind of tap you, and then you'd lean over, hear what he had to say, respond. And so it was kind of like a natural thing. We just all went with it, and it was cool. The only thing that we all noticed is that when Chad got drunk, he would go from tapping to doing like this weird, slow, almost like sensuous rub on your leg when he wanted to talk to you, which wasn't exactly cool, but everybody's kind of weird when they're drunk. So we just kind of wrote it off. But on this night, we're all drunk. I mean, Chad's rubbing my leg so slowly that I'm just like, what are you doing? So he's really drunk. I don't remember most of the night, so I was really drunk. But for some reason, I decided maybe I was trying to be honorable, maybe I was trying to impress the girl. I decide, Dad, you are too drunk to wheel yourself home. I'm going to do it. So we rounded up our little party of me, the girl I was seeing, and Chad, and I started wheeling him down the sidewalk. And it's fine at first. I mean, we're laughing, we're telling stories. I'm only swaying a little. Now we get across University Avenue, which was the busiest street we're going to cross. So once we were across that, I was like, ooh, hardest part's over. Nope. 10 feet later, we hit a bump. Boop. He rolls out like a baby. So Chad is now rolling on somebody's lawn, and that would be bad enough. But at the same time as this incident of hitting the bump, a cop who's in a car, like a little bit down, pulls over and gets out and stares me dead in the eyes. Like I don't think I've ever like felt somebody think that I'm the most incapable human being for, but I got it then. She gave me that look and she says, "Do you need help?" And in a panic, because I was scared of police because I'm drunk and mixed, I picked up Chad like a baby and put him back in the wheelchair. And I still feel bad about it. Like every time I remember this story, I kind of cringe at that part. So, Chad, if you ever see this, be sorry, buddy. I knew it was messed up. I didn't know what else to do. And the girl I was with gave me a look too, and I was like, I know, I know. And then we just, kept going. We sped off. And we finally get back to his, apartment door. And the girl I'm with stays on the sidewalk, and I kind of wheel him up to the door, and we're standing in the open doorway. And I'm thinking, we made it, cool, victory, success. Yes, we can. But Chad then does this thing when we're both just standing there and I'm getting ready to say goodnight, where he goes "Mm," like the universal sign for either uppies or hug. And I'm like, okay, weird you did it that way, but I got you, man. We're friends. So I lean in and I hug him. And as I'm pulling away, I just feel like a small hand go like this and kind of hook. And then I feel my face go forward. And next thing I know, I'm lip locked with Chad. He saw his shot. He was shooting it. So I am shocked at this moment. And I do that thing where like something happens and you almost got to like do a double take. You're just like, ah, what is this really? And as I'm doing the is this really, I guess he took it as some like hesitation, like in his head, he was like, don't worry, baby, it's all right. And just grabbed my face and pulled me aggressively back in. So I'm again kissing Chad. We're being kissed by Chad. And in my head, I'm trying to think of the most tactful, respectful way to break this lock. Really, I want to tell you, my brain was trying to be an absolute gentleman. However, my body, as I'm doing this, wound my leg back, and my leg went forward and kicked Chad's wheelchair. So, over the next 3 seconds, this is about what you would see if you were an observer watching. You would have seen Chad start rolling with a sad, longing look in his eyes that way down a hallway, while I fell backwards onto the sidewalk and laid there for a minute. And then as the door closes and it's slowly just there's just a little sliver left, you could hear me without even looking up yell, "Good night, Chad." And we went home. We went home. And I ducked Chad. I'm not going to lie. The next few times that I saw him rolling up to Amy's, I kind of hid behind some people. But we were cool. I mean, after that, I was part of a group that we carried Chad up flights of stairs to a frat party. He was in my apartment once. Like, we all still hung out. I just made a note to never walk Chad home again. So that was Goodnight, Chad. If you like that story, go on ahead and like this post, comment. If enough people respond, I'll keep it going. If not, I hope you just enjoyed this one. That's it for me right now, guys. Take care.